Hello and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph,
And I'm Mel.
and we're covering The Nun 2. Yay! She just came
And
out. Yay! Uh, so yeah, that's our thing now. Where we'll do new movies, but I'm letting everybody know right now I'm not doing The Exorcist Believer. I already talked to Elle about it. I'm not doing it.
yeah, I feel like you can watch a lot of other exorcism movies like this one, So I don't know. I probably am gonna miss me with that one also.
I've seen the trailer, the long trailer. It's literally haunting me, and no, thank you. It's just like abrasive. It doesn't even look fun at all. To
Yeah,
me screaming
it's so gory.
because when I know this isn't an Exorcist episode, but relevance. When The Exorcist came out, it was very shocking. Like they released it the day after Christmas. I mean, I feel like even to this day, like it's just I've covered it on this podcast the one time. It was just so jarring, and it's a lot to for a little girl to go through, and now there's two little girls, and I feel like they're just trying to up the shock factor. You're not going to make anybody pass out in the theater in 2023. It's just not going to happen.
But I think you can trigger someone's church hurt trauma. And it's definitely effective at that. So,
True.
um,
So,
I'm
no
kind of
thanks.
like you. Like I had enough church guilt as a little girl. I don't need to like have flashbacks about it. So
No, we're not doing that. Let me ask. Did you like the first Nun movie?
I did. I did. You know what? I may have even maybe not visually, but I may have even liked it more than the second one. So more than this one.
Okay, that's interesting. I wish I had rewatched The Nun before I went to go see this one, because now that I've watched this one, I realize that I've been harboring this intense dislike for the first one, but I can't even remember why. And I honestly now I think it doesn't actually have anything to do with the first Nun movie. I think it has everything to do with The Conjuring 2.
Right. Now
Uh,
there's me. I think, that it might be a wise move to take the juiciest parts from the Conjuring, which was just the nun, and keep
mm,
going with that part. So, the Conjuring 2 was hateable in a lot of ways.
yeah.
Now, I liked that it was kind of more driven by the lead woman character,
Mhm.
and in that way, I feel like the Nun one kind of was a little bit more sisters than misters, and this one was a little bit more mister. Like
Yeah.
honestly, dude should have died up and down three ways. Like, why did they keep him alive?
Yeah, and respectfully to Frenchie, I didn't have like an emotional connection with him. I know like it Sister Irene does, but I think that's just because they went through this like life altering experience together. You know what I mean? But like I don't really care about him.
No,
Sorry.
and all the stuff they're doing to like paint him as a nice guy, like worth risking your life for, is actually kind of cringe. They're
Yeah.
like, "I went and sought out a girls' boarding school to work at, and now he has befriended one of the little girls there." I'm like, I hate to be like creepily
Mm,
modern about it, but I don't know. It wasn't giving nice guy, you
no,
know?
it wasn't. It was giving that he had a crush on her mom, so he was just trying to like get. And I'm so like I feel bad for saying that, but like that's just what it like. He wanted the mom, and like
Yeah.
okay, he's good with
And
kids, but like
it kind of checks from the Nun one because I don't know if you remember, but he was going on and on about Irene taking her vows. He was like, "Ah, too bad you're gonna take your vows." Hint, hint, wink, wink. I can't do you. Like he was kind of creepy in that first one. That was him, right?
I
Like,
forget. Yes, that was him. That was
okay, about not being able to bone her because she was gonna go through with taking her vows. So I remember Maurice in his games.
never forget Maurice.
Right. And why were they you about him being possessed? The nun literally stuck her serpentine tongue down his throat. Like, how else do you get possessed? That's how you get pregnant.
Literally, I'm surprised he wasn't carrying the Antichrist, to be
Right.
honest. Like, um, that's a good question. When they showed that scene, I like didn't remember it from the first movie, and I was like, is that what happened? Because I would literally just assume that he was possessed after that situation. Like, you're coming with me. Like, we need to get that thing. You need to get you
Absolutely.
checked out. You know, um, I don't know, but I did think that it was interesting how she was like how the nun was treating this possessed body, because he was almost like a puppet from the outside, like as opposed to like she was like he was like embodying her.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I thought the same thing too. That was a little bit interesting because, and kind of a smart move in terms of writing because then she was able to puppet other people at the same time. Whereas I feel like an in host, like in body possession, that's one person at a time,
Yeah, that's very
whereas,
intimate.
was making images of dead kids at the same time. I mean, she was kind of had a lot going on. So,
She had a lot going on. I kind of don't want to like spoil what her motive was, because I thought that that was very interesting. So I don't want to talk about that, but I do want to talk about some of the other stuff that went down, some of the stuff that she made happen. I thought the man goat was so fucking funny. I couldn't take him seriously, but that scene where the girls have like tricked the other little girl into staring at the stained glass of the goat, and they were telling her, oh, if you look away, like the devil comes out. I thought that that was like very scary for a little girl, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
getting
those
bullied, first of all. So,
yes, I'm an adult, so I'm like, those little bitches aren't gonna get me to do shit, but
right.
like
Yeah. I'm like, why would you go in there with your bullies? Come on. You
but
know,
she didn't
I
have any friends.
I agree about the goat. It was a little bit funny because it seemed random. It seems like an addition, like let's just throw something else in there, like
Yeah,
you know, so and also the fact that we recognize that the nun is like some ancient demon,
yeah.
whatever hell. It, it kind of made it like so the goat is the unmasked form or a different version, partners in crime. It seemed a little
I felt like it was just like a pawn. Like this bitch was playing games with them, because she's like, I literally have you all in the palm of my hands. There's not shit that you can do about it. I'm gonna find what I'm looking for. And that's it. Because it's literally a school full of girls, and the only adults are the one teacher, the headmistress, and this man. And then that's it. And she has the man, you know?
yeah. I thought the nun in this one was definitely more dramatic because
Mhm.
they kind of OP'd her a little bit, nerfed her. She had like a lot of power in this movie.
Yeah.
Could have easily just destroyed them all in like the first 2 minutes, so it seemed
Yeah.
like a lot of it was about terrifying them or whatever and finding the thing more so than killing them. Because why didn't she just kill everybody? I mean, Irene,
Mhm.
that was her like third time getting strangled to near death. I mean, how many concussions can you sustain?
Right, she stays getting choked out. I
Choked.
It's something that I don't understand either, but it's an issue that I have with like church-based possession movies, because I feel like I said it. I don't like to revisit the Exorcist episode, but I feel like I said it. The whole thing in the church is like that human beings have dominion over these kinds of entities or whatever. So the thing that's it's scary about it is when the rules don't seem to apply, because she's dressed as a nun, like she's making a mockery of all of that, and like the nothing's stopping her. That seems like really, why is she operating outside of the rules? That's terrifying. What is she really? It
Yeah.
he
Yeah. I guess, because some weird, creepy demon, but
Yeah.
also, I don't know. Yeah, it's a real choice to go with a nun's habit and then to
Hmm.
have teeth like that.
She's a ballsy. It's a ballsy one.
In the first one, she really kind of used it a lot more, the outfit, I guess. Like, there were times when she was like in the monastery or cathedral or whatever it was, in the habit. And like people would be talking to her like from behind, like, what are we going to do? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then she would like turn around kind of thing. So she was veiled more, like a veil over the face and
Hmm.
using more to like blend in and stuff. This one, I guess, just using it to terrify. But I did like the visual aspects that they heightened that I felt were stronger in like The Conjuring, basically
Hmm.
where she comes out of paintings and mirrors and things on the wall. And we both chose the scene where appears in the newsstand magazines because that was another inventive way to kind of like make her appear out of nothing. So I did like that. Visually speaking, it is scary.
It is scary. And I really liked the scene. It was so quiet and it was so long and there was so much like built up anticipation. And it still delivered a jump scare, at least for me, even though like they showed this in the trailer. I've seen it. And for it to still like elicit that kind of response from me, I was like, okay, well done.
Yeah, I think the scary part is that silence, how long it takes for that image to build. Man, I would have
Yep.
walked away 100 times. There's no way I would have waited until it was, right in front of me. So,
Uh,
but that's part
no,
of the events. You don't get to run away. The character has chosen to stay for whatever idiotic reason.
girl, Irene makes some questionable choices in this entire movie, but like I'm not her, so to each their own. Yeah.
Now, what did you think about the Deborah character?
Is that Storm Reed?
Yes.
Okay. I felt like she was super unnecessary. I'm not trying to be rude. I was glad to see her. I was like, "Hey girl," but like her story was unnecessary. Her being there was unnecessary. I felt I'm really curious about why they made the choice to give her an assistant like that because she was
You're asking the wrong one. I don't know. I thought she was a little superfluous too. But I was like, I guess let's get some representation in the cast. She's
okay.
the only person of color, right? I mean,
Yes, and that makes me feel like that's the only reason why they put her in there.
yeah, yeah. So I don't want to see tokens either. That doesn't make me feel any better. Especially since she sustained some life-threatening injuries and just was like, I'm fine. You go ahead. I just was like, don't risk your life for them. I just
No. And like her authority that she took in some situations didn't make any sense. Like when they were when it was like just a mechanism to get her away from Irene so Irene could be by herself, but she could have just left her by herself the entire time. When they were at the hotel and Irene's like, I have a reservation, and they're like, I don't see it. And she's like falls into despair because they can't find a reservation. And Deborah's like, "Oh, I'll take care of it." How do you know what to do? You literally were a stowaway and you just got there. You won't even do confession. And also that makes you so fucking unprepared to deal with an ancient demon. They will crack you like a glow stick, honey. Like she'll eat
yeah.
you for breakfast.
I didn't understand why we learned so much about her traumatic past for the nun to not use it against her later. I mean, she
Yeah.
just got picked up. I mean, there was like no manifestations of her past family, no lung cancer from all those cigarettes she'd been smoking. Like, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like that was just supposed to make us honestly not even sympathize with her, but it was to make a deeper hero out of Irene. That's like, Irene, you're taking this little unlovable thing under your wing. How great for you. And I'm just like, honestly, Irene is a little bit of a busybody. Like maybe she should just not. I don't know. So
Yeah, Deborah was kind of a glorified babysitter because she was in there screaming along with the kids, you
oh,
know?
hey, some of those kids can scream though. Those kids were
Oh
screaming.
yeah. I did think that. I was like, these little girls are like really great actors. Like,
Yeah,
rip them pipes. You'll be scream queens later. Like,
that's
good
what I was thinking.
practice.
I mean, I think that's kind of, what they're trying to formulate out of like the image of the main character here, Scream Queen. But
Yeah.
you can't be Scream
Um,
Time and be the hero. Like, which one is it?
I mean, I don't know. She's passing out all over the place. Like in this scene, like she literally hits the ground, and somebody would have found her if it wasn't going to be Deborah. So they didn't need her for that either. Respectfully, girl. Like respectfully.
And what happened
Um,
with Deborah? Did they ever wrap that up? I don't even remember.
I
What
don't
happened?
think so. It was like she just fizzled out, and then like Irene and Frenchie are like, we survived another one together.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, that the mother, uh, what was the mother's name?
The
Kate.
teacher?
Yeah, Kate. She's kind of a bad mom. Like, honestly,
She's a
like
terrible mom.
a guy. I'm not gonna hang out with him after he was possessed and a total weirdo. And she's like, go over, honey, give him a hug. It's fine. Like he's
No,
good now.
like I know it's not your fault that she possessed you, but like you smacked us around. You almost killed my child, and you punched a nun in the stomach. Like, I'm sorry. Get some therapy.
He did do that. I
He
forgot.
punched the shit out of her, and she hit all the windows. Like the glass broke. That was a violent. Okay.
Quite violent. And to be honest, he was possessed the whole time they had their little romance. So I wouldn't know if it was him or I'm getting finessed by a demon. Like,
You
yeah,
know that this nun has demon riz. It wasn't Frenchie.
that's exactly what I'm thinking. Because he had no riz after he was just bug eyed. I mean,
It's
yeah,
okay.
no, right. I don't know. But I guess he's the only guy for miles and miles, maybe.
I believe that. I believe that it was like what was it? The French countryside. Like there's no, they're like old. It's like
Yeah.
old men in the surrounding areas. So like I get it. Well, the lady, the actress, I'm pretty sure she was in the Chronicles of Narnia and played Susan, and she's the boring sister.
Oh, yes. I was trying to remember where I saw her face from. I was like,
Oh
but no,
yeah,
yeah.
Narnia.
Okay. So that seems like a natural transition,
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Going through wardrobes to fantasy lands. I
yeah,
mean,
from fawns to demon nuns. I mean, it's really the best
yeah,
transition.
that movie was like 90% green screen. This movie's like 90% green screen. So yeah.
Yeah, she's moving on up. Good for her. Something I did like also, I like because she was playing around. I like how she it's awful. It was pretty traumatic that she used the headmistress's like dead kid to get to her. But the scene where they're trying to escape, like the girls and Deborah are trying to escape from the goat man, and they go to look into like the headmistress's room, and she's in there, like dead with like roaches crawling on her. It was
Yeah.
giving. Have you seen Dead Silence?
Yes.
It was very much giving Mary Shaw, and I was like, I
Yeah.
like this scene a
I
lot.
like yeah, no, I liked it. I thought the kids added something that,
Mhm.
they had some really visceral reactions to all the jump scares.
Oh yeah,
So, that's always kind of nice. I did like that. That was kind of
it was good. Like
it, yeah, you're right. I did like that. Now, the nun did the headmistress dirty. I do not know why she was
she
after
didn't
her
have
so
to do
bad.
it.
That's what
She's
I'm
just
saying.
a bitch.
Yeah, she didn't use like that much past pain information on other people.
Because she
Like I
doesn't
was
have to.
be Irene's mother, you know, but really
Okay.
just Irene drew power from her or whatever, no spoilers. But I just
No.
feel like, why didn't she use the image of her mother the same way
Yeah.
she image of the dead kid? I mean,
I
and the way
couldn't tell you.
like Megan kind of like swinging that
Yes.
the incense burner.
Yes. Oh my God. He altar boyed the shit out of her.
Yeah. That scene was definitely giving Megan because he had some ribbon.
He said,
Yeah, it was good.
terrible. Rest in peace. But
kind of quick for her, It was only a couple of, rounds before.
I
So,
just feel like if I'm gonna go out in a demon battle, take me out quick because what don't just take me out fast. Like if I had survived to see that end scene where just all the shit's going down, I would pee my pants. I don't want to go out like that. Let me have some dignity with no pee pants.
my
Respectfully.
question is like, what if you just like left the scene? Like, what if you
I said
just
no,
were like,
thank you.
yep, and
I'm
just
out.
it doesn't seem like she's chasing anybody. I guess some
She's
people were,
not.
but
I literally, if you just left though, because she's looking for this thing, she just would have found it. She knew where it was. She was going in the right direction the entire time. She would have got it, and then what? I feel like maybe the entire world would have been drowned in flames. And
oh, okay, that part. So
yeah,
that part. So they stayed for the betterment of humanity. Well, that's what
yeah,
I guess. I don't
that's
know.
a nun's job to protect us from worldwide evil. Didn't you
I
know?
feel like actually it was those priests' job, and they were like, "Ooh, I don't want to do this. Let's call that dumb chick. We got to do the stuff last time we didn't want to do."
Just like a man. He literally pulled her out. She was like, I'm in secret. I'm gonna live this simple life over here. And they're like, get Irene on the phone because I'm not doing it.
Right? They were like, "We need a sucker, Irene." It's just like,
Irene.
why you call me? Like she has said the last time she was like, "Oh, I'm not qualified. I haven't even taken my vows." This time she was like, "Definitely not qualified and don't want to do it." Like
They
I
said, well,
feel,
you did it before, so
yeah, yeah. So
scoot
I was
along.
like, well, they didn't even offer her anything.
No.
Like, so I won't be high priestess or whatever is the next step up. This nothing.
No.
No
No.
extra deliveries at the convent now that the delivery kid is dead. So
That scene scared me though. I was like, oh no, is she gonna kill all the kids in this
why they
movie?
kill French tomboy?
I don't know. I don't
I
know. It
was
was
like,
disrespectful.
red swag. I was like, this is the only cool dressed little kid in the whole movie, and you're gonna murder.
And she's got a job. Like
I, you know, that one was contributing. Learn
yeah,
my not contribute to society. The nun does.
literally. Literally. So, okay, so they did something at the end of this movie that I feel like was intentional. When they show, first of all, let's talk about Thaisa Farmiga and Vera Farmiga being in this
Oh,
universe together. When
what?
I watched American Horror Story first, and then when I saw Bates Motel, and I was like, she looks like that girl. Is that her mom? And no, they're just sisters with a big age gap. I feel like something else is coming after this, and I think they did it intentionally. I do not believe that they just wanted everyone to remember that this is from The Conjuring 2. I don't believe that at all. I think that they're gonna do something. I think it's a little
Yeah.
Easter egg.
Although I love Farrah Farmiga in The Conjuring. The definitely the strong
I do too.
character. You know,
They're so beautiful. They're Ukrainian American. They're so beautiful. Like I'll watch anything that either of them are in, respectfully.
and they both have solid screams. So
Yes, and they're great actresses. That's not always a thing in horror. I love a scream
it
queen.
hasn't been in a
Mm-hmm.
while. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like back in the day, like the scream queens were also like solid actresses.
Mm-hmm.
But and they did a lot of dramas too, typically.
Yeah.
So like your Sarah Michelle Gellar's like
Ah,
had
we love her.
drama and horror stuff. So
So good at everything, including holding down a marriage.
holding down. Jay.
Love it. Love that for us. I think we should wrap her up. Do you have any final thoughts about this movie?
No, I liked it. I would say I would give it what, maybe 3.5 because it was solid. For a scary movie, you want to go to the theater, get your jump scares, like put your arm around your boo or whatever. I think it's solid. And if you want to follow
Mhm.
along without thinking too much, you could probably do that.
Yeah, I think you could definitely. I would give it a 3.5 also. I had a very good time watching this movie. It's hard to like jump scare me, so the fact that it got me, and I think it got me twice, honestly, so good. And I think that you could watch this without even seeing the first Nun and still have
Yeah.
a good time. Um, I was gonna say something else and my brain just stopped working, but yeah, 3.5. She's great.
Flashbacks of the things you really need to know, like Frenchie saving her. So I,
Yeah,
I you really could just have it singularly, not think too much about it, and go with it. Visually, it's pretty striking. I liked it.
very, especially oh, this scene I like. I can't get enough of it. I've been watching a lot of trash movies lately, so like I really really enjoyed this movie. And I think that that's saying something considering it's not only a sequel, but it's deep into the Conjuring universe that
Yeah,
those movies haven't done super well. Like this is better than Annabelle. It's definitely better than The Devil Made Me Do It was awful. I
awful.
think it's really redeeming itself here, and I think that that's why they're going to use the juice to do something else.
I agree, and I'm gonna watch it if they do because like I said, I
Yeah.
really think that the best part of all of those movies, you know, basically the nun herself and a little bit of Vera Farmiga too. Honestly, that was the best part.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I'm with it. 3.5, solid.
Nice. Nice. 3.5. In the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site or on Twitter at GITM Podcasts. You can find me on Twitter at witchxpudding.
And you can find me on Twitter at Hedda_Mel.
Okay, bye.
I